My wife keeps telling me that 66 is the new 33.
Mm.
I said, well, that might be kind of stretching it, but what the heck? Hello there. How you doing?
Good. How you doing? I'm Greg.
I'm Charlie.
Hey, Charlie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, are you?
I
Are
don't
you?
know
Are you?
what I don't know what I'm doing here. No, I
You
work with
don't know?
Rahul.
You work with who?
I'm Rahul.
Oh, with Raul.
Rahul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Answer some questions about Raul at work.
I'll, I'll try. I worked
Without,
closely with
without,
him one
without
day. What's
I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
That's all
I
right.
was trying to without nailing your ass to the wall.
Nah,
So what's Raul like? Is he as nice as he is as he normally is? All right.
Okay, Basil, you want to start the show off?
Yeah, sure.
It's been a long time since we didn't do it because of
It's been,
holidays. So can you
yeah,
start
it's
the
been
show?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Hello, William. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Charlie. How about you?
Oh, I'm getting there. I
Yeah,
will eventually start.
I was telling Raul earlier that we should all go to a Phillies game it was your idea, Basil. Charlie made an idea up the other day over the weekend.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Even
If-
Greg can join. Even Greg can join the four amigos together. Phillies
Sure,
game.
why not? The more amigos, the better. You
yeah.
know?
if we got rid of one of the amigos, I get 4 tickets for half the Sunday games, front row and left center field. So
Yeah.
if we got rid of one
Oh,
of them,
Raul, you're out.
4 tickets there.
Yeah. Greg, where do you live?
I live in
Thank
Plymouth Meeting, right next to Plymouth White Marsh High School.
Oh, okay. I live in Collegeville.
Okay.
Bullock Grove, so I'm real close to you. So I could probably go to the Phillies game with you.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
Basil.
See how I cut my way right through
Yeah,
there?
you're right in there. We'll just got to get rid of one of these other guys,
Basil, you want to start it off now?
Yeah. Hello and welcome, everybody, to another edition of Rockin' with Raul and the Three Amigos. We have a special guest today. His name is Greg. And hello, Greg. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Uh, Greg, can you introduce yourself to the listeners and what you do, and can you talk about what you did previous
Previous to tonight.
previous to Pendad?
Oh, okay. Oh, geez. How far back can I go?
We
Uh,
went back to high school.
I want to go back to my high school job, and I was working for the Philadelphia Bulletin, delivering newspapers.
Me too.
Yeah. Now, my name's Greg. I live in Plymouth Meeting. I'm from Northeast Philadelphia originally. I've been at PennDOT now with the Driver's License Center for about a month and a half. Before that, I did about a year and a half at the liquor store, the Fine Wine and Good Spirits in Plymouth Meeting for the PLCB. And I've been bouncing around a little bit, actually. I used to be in the mortgage business for about 30 years, a little over 30 years. So since I left the mortgage business about 6 years ago, still trying to find my way. So hopefully this will be it for me for a while at the with the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
When you worked in the mortgage business, that's a cutthroat operation, isn't that?
It's very much so. A lot of peaks and valleys in that business. Very, as I say, a lot of times and things I can't do anymore. I said back when I made money, used to have season tickets to the Sixers and Phillies and go to a lot of games all the time, take clients out. But that's one thing when the high times and the low times, it was really hard to make money. Like right now, there were times recently I thought I wish I was still back in the mortgage business, except right now it's a very difficult time in the mortgage business again. So mostly I'm glad I'm not there because it's hard to make money. When you're working commission, all commission, you have to do business. And if you can't do business, you can't make money. So do a lot of work. Seems like you do a lot of work for nothing if the rates don't cooperate, if the market doesn't cooperate. So that's something I'd had enough of, and went to work for the man instead of working for myself.
My stomach would be in knots all the time if I was in the mortgage business.
You can never rest from that because you're always worried about where you're going to get your next deal. If you got the deal, are you going to be able to get it closed? If you don't get it closed, you might have just done all that work for nothing. And you might,
Exactly.
your referral source might not even want to come back to you if you can't get that deal done for whatever reason. So a lot of hard times, a lot of great times, but a lot of hard times with that business too.
Sure.
After the mortgage business, did you like working in the wine and spirit store?
I actually liked working there. The big reason I left, well, I didn't, neither of the job I have now or that job paid enough for me to actually survive on. But I didn't mind that work. Learning the product was fun. Dealing with the customers, and a lot of people I knew because I lived for 28 years in the neighborhood where the store is. So every day I would run into somebody I knew at the store.
Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up at Bridgeton Boulevard in the Northeast, in Oxford Circle.
So you grew up in Frankfurt, right? Or
What's that?
You grew up in
We call it St. Martin of Tours. Our side was Summerdale. So
right.
I grew up on the one street on the west side of the boulevard from Frankfurt was the other side of the boulevard. So we were Summerdale. More people know Oxford Circle, but yeah, our little section was Summerdale.
Right.
So I grew up playing youth sports at Summerdale Boys Club.
I played for the Eagles.
On the Eagles, there you go.
Coach there.
Okay, yeah. So Frankfurt was my big rival, at least in football growing up. They weren't as competitive with us in basketball or baseball, but definitely in football.
Well, Frankfurt, when I first started playing, and this is back in 1967. I was when I made the team for the first time. I was what 8.
Probably 70 pounders, right? 65 or 70 pounders.
65. We were the 60. That what I start to say. Yeah, I played for the Allen Eagles, and I know what I was going to ask you. My cousins played over there. The Lutzes. Did you know? They're from the Frankfurt side, though.
Yeah, what was it?
Lutz, like Billy Lutz, Joey Lutz.
You know, I went to grade school with a girl named Elizabeth Lutz.
Yes.
So that was, yeah. So I'm about you would say like 66 or 67?
Yeah, well, 67. I was 8 years old.
Yeah. So I mean, so you're about 5 years older than me. So yeah, if Elizabeth Lutz was, I don't know, I didn't know the other names, but there was Elizabeth Lutz in grade school. So probably them. That's not a real common name.
Yeah.
About that whole world.
Yeah, they played for Frankfurt Boys Club, and when I first started playing football, Frankfurt was the toast of the town. They were the best team in the South. Crispin Gardens was the best team in the North.
Okay.
When you had Sixers season tickets, what year was that?
The Iverson years.
Iverson years.
The Iverson years. So one of the first years I remember the season tickets, they lost to the Pacers in the first round of the playoffs. I'm trying to think, I remember, leading up to where I can remember the seats, and I remember that the seats were down in the corner, section 120, row 12. Next section over was a higher price, so we split them. One of my mortgage clients and I split the 4 seats, and we had them through probably 2 years after the finals year. And things got tougher, but we had them in that finals year that they lost to the Lakers, and but yeah, so I was dragging my kids were little, so that was what 2000, 2001, 2002. So my kids were born in like 94 and 96. So if I didn't have a client to go with, I would just grab one of my kids and take them down there. So they were probably like 6 and 8 years old at the time.
I think Sixers should have gotten a second good player for Iverson.
How many did they try? They had everybody. Had Tony Kukoc and Chris Webber and God, even oh man, I'm trying to think of the guy that played for oh man, I can't think of his name.
He used to play with Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the guy from New Jersey, Coleman, Derek Coleman.
Yeah,
Derek Coleman was the first washed-up old-timer they brought back to play with him, and Weber. All these guys at the end of their careers were guys who just couldn't play with them. I remember being so excited when he came in that draft. Well, of course, Kobe Bryant was later in that draft, but nobody knew he was going to be that good. A lot of people say they did, but they didn't because there was no way to know he was going to be that good. But it was the guy from Connecticut would have been the other the shooting guard. Oh man, drawing a blank on everybody's name tonight. But the next year they had the third or fourth pick again. They get Stackhouse. So like, okay, here we go. It's kind of like this current Sixers team. Like, start adding guys with Simmons, and you should have had should have been adding on to these guys. Didn't pan out. Like guys just couldn't play with other guys. So Stackhouse.
Yeah, I remember Jerry Steakhouse was on the Sixers, but I was young. I was little when he was on the team.
Yeah, Stackhouse was Stackhouse came when Iverson's I guess second or third year, probably second year they drafted him.
Yeah,
Lucky to get that high a pick with him too, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, what year was Jerry Stackhouse drafted to the NBA? Do you know?
Well, Iverson was 96, so I probably 97, 98 for Stackhouse.
Yeah, I knew Iverson was drafted in 96. Yeah. I actually have his jersey, actually.
Yeah.
Which Sixers coach do you like of all time? Who do you think is the greatest Sixers coach of all time?
Well, best coach they had of all time is probably Billy Cunningham.
What? Billy Cunningham, Alex Hannum, who they won a championship with.
Right. Yes. That's before my time, but you got to look at something like that.
Have you ever seen Julius Erving playing back in the days?
Yeah, absolutely, sure. Yeah, I'll tell you, back in the day, like there's an infamous game that it was Mother's Day. I can't remember the year, near the end of Irving's career. Like they had like 9,000 people for a playoff game. So the NBA it was so much easier to go to an NBA game back then. But I always look at it like my beginning of my Sixers life was the worst Sixers team. Well, actually, no, I guess it got worse during the process, during the tanking. But at my age, I really became a Sixers fan when they were 9-73, and in 1971, 72. So they were the worst team ever for a long time there, and I think that record's been beaten a couple times now. But that year, when they went 9-73, one of my favorite players of all time, I used to wear his number because I was a skinny, tall shooter myself, was Doug Collins. So Doug Collins was the first pick in the draft in 1973, coming off the Olympics when he played for that Olympic team in 1972 that got robbed of a gold medal in Munich.
Yeah.
So, so I love Doug Collins. I love Billy Cunningham. And then that team, then of course that biggest disappointment, maybe one of my most disappointing sports team losses was the Sixers losing to Portland in 1977.
Bill Walton beat them.
What's that?
Bill Walton and that white guard and shooter. The two of them destroyed the Sixers.
Yeah. So that team, when they were up 2-0 in that finals, that was the most fun team to watch, best team on paper that you probably saw almost ever that blew that finals. So, but I always say too, a lot of my life I look back to like major disappointments and teams losing. So the Sixers have had plenty of them because they lost plenty of finals and had great teams that didn't win. Then the Eagles, you had a few years of the Eagles looking like they were going to be the best team that didn't win. Flyers, of course, haven't won since 75. So yeah, a lot of heartache as a Philadelphia fan.
Yep.
Yeah.
What year did you had Philly season tickets?
We started getting most recently. I've had different Phillies things over the years, but most recently, the last year in the old stadium, a buddy of mine I worked with back then. So the stadium opened 2004. So the last year at the Vet, a friend of mine and I bought a partial season plan, knowing that we wanted to be on the ticket list for when they moved into the new place. So since they opened a new place, the first year we had a full season plan and a partial season plan. So we were way up behind home plate for the full season. And the seats we still have to this day, we got just as an extra thing, just as an afterthought. We bought the front row in left center, section 145. So we've had 4 seats in section 145, row 1, since they opened the new stadium. So like 20 years now. So we just split those Sundays now. So that's been fun. And actually, what's interesting about that? When they first built that stadium, our front row seats in left center, they completely messed up the dimensions in the stadium. So left center field was so close to the field, it was too easy to hit a home run. So they moved it back. And I was afraid they were going to kind of bump us out of there, but what they did, they took 5 rows away from the front of that section, a few sections there in left center field. So now we're a little further back, the wall's higher. So when we were first in there, the wall was low, like you were right there, like you were right on the field practically. But when they moved it back, we're a little bit higher. You could barely touch a player's head when you're out there. But man, Sundays out there are so hot. Oh my God. Sometimes I just go down there like we're dead. We're just going to sit out in this heat down here in the front row. It's a great spot, but it's so hot. It's terrible.
We went down there last summer on a day that was freaking ungodly. It was so damn hot. And the sun seemed to be like right here, right above your head,
Yeah, right behind us. But I would tell people too, like we were down, when you go down later in the season, the year the Phillies lost to Colorado, and that first playoff team that went on to win the World Series about 2 years later, we were sitting out in right field, right by the right field foul pole for an afternoon game. And that's the worst direction at that stadium. So an afternoon, that sun faces the right field corner. That was the worst. Trying to watch the game with the sun. That was a hot day with the sun, even in October, or maybe it was even late September. But no, I guess they were October. But it was a brutally hot day with the sun beating right on you out there. So now when we get tickets, just like go to a game or something comes up, like, yeah, we're going to sit on the third base side, back a little bit so we're undercover and not be out in that sun.
Exactly.
Too much sun. Too much sun. So,
yeah. And now that since the NFL season is over and playoff is starting, what do you think about Eagles and Green Bay matchup?
I think the Eagles have a great matchup with Green Bay. I think they have a great matchup with everybody.
Eagles have an excellent defense, and
shockingly good. Everybody talks about their offense, but I think it's the number one defense in the league, right?
Yeah, defense wins championships no matter what sport you play.
Yep,
that's right.
So
I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to be the kind of team that's going to pick it up in the playoffs too. I think they're going to be better in the playoffs than they've been even in the regular season.
Who do you think will come out from the NFC if Eagles play Detroit for the NFC Championship? Who do you think will come out of?
I'm a homer. I'm a homer all the way. So I would say the Eagles.
Yeah, that's me too.
So everybody, anything can happen. Health, somebody gets hurt or whatever. But look at when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody thought it was over when Wentz got hurt, right? So even if somebody does get hurt, you never know. Wentz went down that year against the Rams. They were 13 games in, 14 games in. They got lucky to get through the first playoff game that year, but after that was hey, next man up.
Let's go Birds.
Let's go Birds.
Yeah.
That was what a year that was.
Yeah, what guys? Do any of you guys, and especially you, Greg, have predictions of what the final score is going to be? I think it's going to be a close game, 22 30 31.
31 24. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game, and I don't know if there'll be that much scoring. I look at like 24. Well, Philly, what are they favored? Like they favored by like 5 now. So maybe I could see like a 28-21, 28-24 game.
Yeah.
But it depends. Like right now, like you don't even know who's playing. Like Hurts, I think they said Hurts practice today. They're not going to score if he doesn't play. If he doesn't play, like if he's not himself.
What'd you guys think about the last regular season game?
About what?
I thought they played well.
Regular season.
They played well.
Do you think Saquon should have played for that career?
For the record?
For that career record?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he should have, honestly.
I don't.
So, NFL record, Rahul.
I bet you he was hurt, and he isn't playing because of that. Because just think, 111 yards to break some rushing record. I mean, come on.
Does anyone even know what the record is?
The exact number?
Or what record it is?
Well, the NFL rushing record is like what 2,106 yards. I think it was 2,105 or 2,120.
So it was definitely the NFL leading rushing.
Yeah, Eric Dickerson's record. But we were talking about this in work recently. I was like, the only one I even remember, because everybody's saying making a big deal about breaking this record, but most people don't even know like you're saying, most people don't even know what the record is.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't even sure exact number because all I look back was the NFL's not about rushing anymore, so that's why it's kind of surprising somebody's close to breaking the record. But I think it was interesting. Like I'm old, so the only one that ever mattered to me is when I saw O.J. Simpson get 2,000 yards in a 14-game season. That I thought was one of the greatest, coolest things I saw as a kid. So I was probably like 10 years old at the time. But since then, the NFL is such a passing game. I don't think it's also a team game. So I don't think those individual records are that. They're not that important to me. Like baseball, baseball is different. If you're going for a home run record, that's your record. That's like the team doesn't have to help you get that record. But in football, there's no rushing record without the rest of the team. And he wouldn't have broken that record unless everybody played. And if everybody played and somebody got hurt, then we wouldn't be very happy about it. So
yeah, that's true.
I didn't think they should worry about the record.
Yeah, it's a team. They should worry about being healthy,
about winning the next game. Right.
Who do you think will come out from the AFC?
God, I hate to say, until somebody can beat Kansas City, how can you not
Buffalo?
Say Buffalo should. Kansas City's #1 seed again. Get the bye. Going to play at home. It's tough, but I
love that quarterback.
I think it's the year to beat them. I do think it's the year to beat them. Somebody should beat them.
Yeah, they're up. They're ready to get that smacked.
It's so hard to keep coming back like that year after year.
You got a team that's been close, so close for the last 3 years.
That's right.
5 points.
Going to be hungrier than that now.
Eventually, they have to. Unless I was going to say something, but no, I don't know if they would understand it. The other guys would understand it. But I lost I forgot what I was saying. So it'll come back to me.
It'll come back to
you. I'll give you a call.
What do you think about the NBA season so far? What do you think? Do you think Sixers can get the 8th or 7th seed?
I would say maybe they'll get the 7th seed. At least.
They keep blowing the game late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, until they
gas.
Can't tell. You can't tell with them until they're all playing all the time together. It's so hard to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, I still don't think even when they're all together. Like, when's the game? Is there a game tonight, or is it tomorrow night?
Yeah, the last few years, the Sixers were like in the 4th seed and like the 3rd seed.
Well, they were #1 a couple times there even.
Yeah,
they had some great regular seasons.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but there's something tonight. It's like when Cleveland is playing Oklahoma City, and so I heard somebody saying that it's for this late in the season. It's probably the best 2 winning percentages to face each other this late in the season. It's like 31-5 and 30-5 and 31-4, something like that. They are. So you just look at Boston, you look at those two, and you just wonder, like, even if the Sixers have their best season, have their best playoff run, I don't know. I don't think this is. I just don't know if they can get over the top. I think it's going to be.
It's always like in the finals. It's always like the same team, different years. Like it's either Celtics in the final, or Cleveland in the final, or Miami Heat in the final.
Yeah, well, not this Cleveland group, but this new Cleveland group. Yeah, it's almost like I don't really want to see. Like, I wouldn't even care to watch Oklahoma City and Cleveland, but if they're the 2 best teams with the best records, then so be it. I'd rather see. Like, I'm a Philadelphia, I'm a Boston hater. I'm a Boston and New York hater. So all I do is root for the home teams and root for Boston to lose, the Celtics to lose, and the Cowboys to lose, and the Lakers to lose. So that's the 2 most important things: my team winning, and the Celtics and Lakers and Cowboys losing.
There you go. there's some
There you go.
principles to live by.
That's good parenting. That's the way I was brought up, and that's the way my kids are brought up.
Exactly. That's the way
Greg, how many kids
grew
do
up
you
in the
have?
city.
At Frankfurt, I want Frankfurt to lose, the Cowboys to lose, the Yankees to lose, and the Celtics
And the Allen Eagles to lose.
and the Allen.
Greg,
You know what? Allen Eagles have good uniforms though.
yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah,
Greg,
tell you what, Allen Eagles. When I was little, like when I was on the 70 pounders, Allen Eagles killed us. But then, like later on, I guess there's I don't know, maybe the neighborhood started going down a little bit or something. Like they weren't good by the time I was in like 6th and 7th and 8th grade. But Allen Eagles were the best when I was about 3rd and 4th grade. Joe Burke and David Burke, the twin brothers, were.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember them at my age, but in fact, they came to Somerdale after a couple of years because it wasn't going so well over there.
Yeah. Dave Burke, when it was him and his brother. Which was his first name?
I think Joe. I remember it was. I think it was
Joe Burke. That's it, Joe Burke. Joe made the team, and they cut him on a 70-pound team. So he said that expletive deleted, and he went over to Somerdale, and then he finally made it. He played on the team my father coached, the 80-pound. Well, I guess they were the 80-pound team or whatever. The next team up from the 70s, and they ran the wishbone.
Yeah,
and they was just bang, 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 and that's the way. That's the way we played. I mean, we didn't play the wishbone; we played the wing T. But and we played a 4-5 defense on the 80-pound team.
Yeah.
I played right in the middle. Boom.
Yes, I played 70s, 80s, 80s, 95s, and 100s. Because they changed the weights when I was in 8th grade. So instead of going 95s to 115s, they made it 100s and 120s. Mm-hmm. So instead of just putting on some weight and playing 120s in 8th grade, I lost weight and stayed on a 100-pound team, and we lost the championship that year too. So
who beat you? Who beat you?
We lost the championship, and actually no, we lost the championship game on the 95s when I was in 7th grade to Somerton. Up at George, we played at George Washington High School. Yeah, we played at George Washington High School in a championship game against Somerton, and they beat us. The next year, we were even better on that 100-pound team, but Frankfurt got us. We used to have that big event over at Frankfurt Stadium called the Charity Bowl. So on Saturday, there would be like 4 games between Somerdale and Frankfurt, and Sunday the other team. So 2 games, 70s and 80s played one day, 95s and 115s played the next day. And when I was on the 100s and we had a great team, I thought we had a great team. We were unscored upon. So when we played them when I was in 8th grade on the 100-pound team, they wound up beating us that second year. So we went to school with those guys too. So that was a big thing.
Right.
So we were at St. Martin's, and just that was a thing, like football, man, especially during the beginning of the school year. It was all football. All the Frankfurt kids and the Somerdale kids were
yes. And we were all in the Southern Division.
That's
original Southern Division.
Right. Because football bushes, like you said, you Crispin, you have Mayfair teams, Parkwood, Somerton,
Northeast,
Carsdale, or whoever.
You guys? Did you ever play North Penn High School? And
I never. No. I played football at LaSalle High School, so I played in the Catholic League. So I never played against North Penn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
2 kids, boy and a girl.
How old are they?
30 and 28.
Oh, one of them is my age.
Yeah.
I'm 32.
You're 32?
I'm 30. I'm 30.
My daughter will be 31 soon. My son turned 28. And so they were pretty athletic. My son played high school baseball. My daughter played high school soccer and swimming.
What position did he play in baseball?
In high school, he was a real good little league pitcher. It didn't pan out as well in high school as a pitcher, so he mostly played left field and third base as a high school player. But he was good, good athlete.
Did he play baseball in college?
No, nothing after high school. As he likes to remind me too, when I was coaching him in Little League, he always says I wore his arm out. So he blames me that he didn't have more success as a pitcher in high school because I pitched him too much in Little League. That might be true too.
Do you still coach sometimes?
No, I referee now. So I referee like basketball and football. Um,
Do you referee high school football?
I do high school football. I do high school basketball, but not varsity. So I do as high as JV basketball, but I do varsity football.
Have you been referee at North Penn ever?
I have not done a game. I don't do much in that league. So no, Suburban League, I've not done a game at North Penn.
I went to Perk Valley High School. Have you ever heard of it?
I do games at Perk Valley High School.
You do?
Yeah. I had a game last year. Yeah, this past season at Perk Valley High School.
Did you referee there?
Yeah. So I'm the umpire. So I'm the guy behind the defensive line. So if you ever see maybe so that's a pack. That's a Pioneer Conference. So that's I do. Half the games I do are probably in that conference.
Yeah. It'll be 10 years in June this year since I graduated from there.
Oh, yeah.
I graduated 2015 from there.
Yeah.
Be 10 years.
But the last time I coached anything, I coached basketball through my son's senior year in high school. So same year we had a real good high school CYO team and also our rec league team. So living in the past, I said, my rec league team won the championship with my son was a senior, and but he actually was hurt. He got hurt at baseball practice. He couldn't even play in the playoffs, but we still won that championship. And then in the CYO high school CYO basketball, we won one round of the playoffs. We won our conference and won one round of the playoffs, but then we lost in a playoff game where we played up at Morrisville High School. We had to go play a game against a team from like Delaware County from kids that would have gone to Monsignor Bonner. We played against. So that was the last coaching I did was 20. When did he graduate from high school? 2014. Yeah. 2014.
So it's been 11 years for him.
Yeah.
What about your daughter? What year she graduated?
They graduated. She was 2012.
Okay.
So yeah, she graduated from. They both graduated from Plymouth White Marsh High School, 2012, and then 2014. She went to Temple.
Okay. Yeah, we had a friend that went there, right? Rahul, Jake Reesberg, he went there. Yeah. Our one friend went there too, Jake. That's his name.
Yeah. My daughter was she had a roommate in college who was there on partial scholarship for rowing, and a friend got her to join the rowing team. She actually even did 1 year on the rowing team that year. So that was interesting.
A lot of lifting. That was probably her most physical.
That was her most physical year. She had to. They practiced at like 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and then after school. But then, of course, I found out after that year that she wasn't really in school very much. So more rowing practice than school.
Yeah. And that's what you sent her there for, the row, right?
What's that?
I said that's what you sent her there for, the row.
Right. Yeah.
The major in rowing.
That paid the tuition to go and row.
Yeah, we're only going to let you take 12 credits because you gotta get out there and win one for the Gipper.
It became an issue for financial aid the following year. Like, she wasn't didn't do enough credits, enough school that year when she was rowing. But it's an experience. She still turned out okay. She's walking by me here now too.
Get ready to smack you in the back of the head, right?
To all the viewers that are watching us right now.
Wait, there's people watching this?
Yeah, we have like there's like 25 views right now. 25 viewers right now. So
I should do an Ask Me Anything segment.
If anybody's watching us, if you have any question for Greg or for the three amigos, you could chat in on the chat box on YouTube.
I have a question. How did the three amigos get together? How did Rahul and the three amigos get together?
Monco.
From Monco. We met at Monco.
Yeah.
How did these guys start? I never found that out. I joined last.
Me and Basil and William started this show, and then we decided for you to be the third amigo.
All right.
Yeah. Yes. I love it. We have a good time.
Yeah, we have a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So how does one become a viewer?
Uh,
So how do I find out this is going on in the future that I want to watch?
like if we I'll send you the link on to your message.
So I could look you up as Rahul and
Yeah.
the Three Amigos, right?
Yeah,
On
Rockin'
YouTube, right?
with Amigos.
On
Yeah,
YouTube? Yeah.
on
Okay.
YouTube.
Yeah. Oh,
And
so I
then
could look at past episodes too?
yeah, you
All
could.
right, cool.
And people chat on the chat box and
Okay.
they ask questions to us and all.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, nice.
we
Yeah,
have like
great.
we have like 205 subscribers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's all family.
friends and family.
Overseas. Half of the tribe he came from, they're I'm kidding, Raul. Raul, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. Okay.
When, question for all of you, even Greg. When you're watching the game, what is your favorite game day meal
Ooh.
while watching football? And out of all the cheesesteak hoagies places, do you guys like D'Alessandro's, Geno's, or Pat Steaks?
Alessandro's.
Which one doesn't use Cheese Whiz? Or do they all use Cheese Whiz?
No. D'Alessandro's might not have Cheese Whiz.
Because one of them, I went and got a pizza steak, and it came out right.
Yeah.
The pizza sauce and the mozzarella cheese and all that.
So, I used to get D'Alessandro's with the sauce on it, not really as a pizza steak, but just what they have a sauce. And I was telling Rahul and I were talking about this at work one day. I said, I miss. That's actually a good cheesesteak right across the street from D'Alessandro's too at Chubby's.
Yes.
So if you're ever by there and D'Alessandro's has that big crazy line, don't be afraid to go to Chubby's because they're also very good. But D'Alessandro's was great because it's a big messy sandwich, so it's better to get it and sit there at the counter. So that's not being able to sit there at the counter with them. I don't get them as often because I also don't want to wait in line, so I don't get them as often. But out of the three, they're I think they're pretty clearly the best, the most popular. Well, I don't say the most popular. They're not a touristy place like the places in South Philly. But I did tell Rahul too. I hate to hog up the time, but John's roast pork cheesesteak is the best cheesesteak I've ever had.
And where is that?
Down by Second and Snyder.
Oh, down South Philly. Yeah.
And the big difference is there. You don't talk about them as much because they're not open late. They're open early. They're only open like through lunchtime, so they don't do the late night thing. And there's not a lot around there too. It's like an old industrial area, so they're not open. They're not open late, but that's the best sandwich. That cheesesteak there is awesome.
Yeah.
So try it out. Second and Wekico, but it's like near Second and Snyder, near Delaware Avenue and Snyder Avenue.
Now we used to get when I was working down in the Navy Yard. I was a sprinkler fitter.
Okay.
By trade, and we were working down in the Navy Yard, and on Fridays we would get sandwiches, roast pork, broccoli rabe, the whole bit. Was that Luke's?
Tony Luke's.
Tony Luke's.
Right.
That was great. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that very, very much.
I like their food. They had the big thing. They're not called Tony Luke's anymore because Tony Luke, actually, I guess the father did something, like some kind of tax evasion thing. So, and Tony Luke broke off in the family, and now it's called Tony and something else's. But Tony Luke does the franchise places around the area. But they got good food there. That's when I was going to Sixers games, we always grab something at Tony Luke's. I used to get the chicken parm, like a chicken.
There's still a Tony Luke's at the
Philadelphia
Premium Outlets Mall in Poxtown, where closest to where I live.
Yeah. Oh, they have a Tony Luke's out there?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Just looked it up.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, but it's always funny when this conversation comes up, when people are from out of town. Usually, like I was in Virginia a few weeks ago for my brother-in-law's retirement party, and a guy from New York kind of like, oh, you're from the Philadelphia area? Yeah. He's like, what's your favorite cheesesteak? Where should I go for a cheesesteak when I'm in town? So I was like, yeah, you're gonna be sorry you brought this up because I could talk about this for hours. But so I always enjoyed this conversation.
I had my son moved to Seattle about 10 years ago, but for the past 3 years, him and his girlfriend had been pretty steady, and we send him care back packages out there. Well, anyhow, she's not from Philadelphia, Cullen's from Philadelphia, the area,
Yeah.
and so we sent her out a box of tasty cakes and soft pretzels,
Right.
and whatever else we could get in there that she could. Yeah. So because she came over here she was here for a few days before, and she had a couple soft pretzels and some tasty cakes, and she said that she would would like it if we would send her out some.
I still eat that stuff like crazy.
Yeah.
I'll go to Philly Pretzel Factory, but mostly I go to a place called Tasty Twist down on Umbria Street in Manayunk. I always grab a bag of pretzels when I ride by there. The extra ones, my dogs love them.
Yeah.
Every time when I'm at Wawa, I don't usually pay full price, but when there's something buy one, get one free or something like that, or cheap for tasty cakes, I always buy the tasty cakes still at Wawa. I love that stuff. I love all the Philadelphia stuff still.
Yeah.
I like my favorite cheesesteak places. I like Pat Steaks.
Yeah. How about Steve's Pretzel? I asked you about Steve's. Do you ever have Steve's Prince Steaks?
No, I'm good.
No.
I'll try that soon.
Yeah. Check that out. That's different. It's a different one. But like I said, it's a slice. It's sliced steak as opposed to the chopped up stuff like most of the places have. I think Pat's might be a little bit of a slice thing too. Come to think of it, but most of them are like real chopped up.
Yeah, because I was up in the Poconos, and I forget where we went, but I asked the guy for a cheesesteak, and that's what I got.
Yeah.
A hunk of steak with cheese on top of it. I said, "This isn't a cheesesteak. It's not a cheesesteak.
I don't want
a real one."
calling it a Philly cheesesteak, or especially a steak and cheese. Out of towners, working with Philly. Who's got a good Philly cheesesteak? First of all, it's not a Philly cheesesteak. It's just a cheesesteak. You don't call it. You don't have to call it Philly cheesesteak. But yeah, I guess you do because otherwise that's what you will get.
No, someone's making me hungry for more food. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Cheesesteak.
William, order us some food, will you?
I don't know. Basil, where's the rest of the food?
Well, it's funny. I'll tell you, like even as like I wasn't even like downtown or anything, but I lived, where I lived before we moved out to the suburbs. It drives me crazy out here. It's hard to get the good food, and it's hard to get it later. You can't eat late. Like you can't even get a pizza after like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I was like, I moved here. I said, you can't get a pizza. Like you get hungry at 9 o'clock. You can't get anything to eat out here.
Right.
So
How long have you lived in Pulumi with your wife and your kids?
we moved here in 1996, so 28 years.
Oh, okay. So your kids were born in Philadelphia for a while, right?
They were both born there. My daughter was like 2.5 when we moved. My son was just a couple months old, 3 months old when we moved.
Oh,
what is your guys' favorite game day meal while watching football?
Whatever's in the fridge.
Whatever's in the fridge. I'll tell you, yeah. If I order, I'll order from a place here. I'll get the cheesesteak and the wings. So that's when I treat myself, is like making sure I get a couple dozen wings to go along with the cheesesteak, and we'll split that stuff up.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I'll split a cheesesteak with you, man.
Yeah, I'll split a cheesesteak because I don't want just the wings and I don't want just the cheesesteak. So I have to have the wings if we're going to have if we're going to sit and eat during the game.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool. That's good. You take care of yourself, brother. Take care of yourself.
Basil and William.
Honestly, Wawa is fine with me, but
my favorite game day food is once in a while wings, pizza, fries, or whatever. Because I guess
guy's food,
burgers,
regular guy's food.
I like burgers and wings.
Yeah.
Or whatever's in the fridge.
Yeah, whatever's in the fridge. Yeah.
When I got home from work at my games tonight, my wife had a nice crock pot of pulled pork going on. That was really nice. On the brioche buns.
Oh, that's nasty, man.
Those tonight. They were nice.
Making sliders.
Good size brioche buns.
Yeah, wow, they're great. I can taste them. I can taste them. Yeah.
We had too much bread around too. I had a bunch of Kaiser rolls we had to get rid of. We had so many rolls around from like Christmas and New Year's that stuff's starting to go bad. So all these rolls, I'm like, all right, I got to load up on some sandwiches, but that's not good for you.
Do you
So
feed your dogs? Do you feed some of that to your dogs?
Not really. Shouldn't give them that. Shouldn't give them that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just saw a bag of nice rolls in the trash because they got moldy from just too many around. So
yeah,
got to eat faster. That's the moral of the story. Got to eat that stuff faster.
Do you like the Kaiser rolls?
I do like the Kaiser roll. Yeah, that's the ones that just went. So I still have some club rolls left, but the Kaiser rolls they got moldy.
Yeah,
I don't want to drag the conversation down with my poor food going in the trash. Hate to let the food go to waste. But I don't eat as much as I used to. So
no, I can't either, man. Because if I do, I'll balloon back up to 295 pounds.
Geez. Well, it's funny. Somebody asked me earlier about the job. I worked at the liquor store. It's the most active I really have ever been on a job. Well, at least for many, many years. Because I used to just walk around, finding things, putting stuff away, lugging cases. Like we unload trucks and unload, a lot of lifting. But mostly it was walking that store for like 5-6 hours a day, and I felt great. I was losing weight. For the last year and a half, I lost a lot of weight, and now this job, I'm sitting at the desk. I'm worried. Got to really watch out for what I eat because I'm not working it off like I was.
Yeah, you got to watch, sit there nibbling on stuff because that gets to be a habit.
That's right.
I know it happened. It's happened to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Although
that's cool, man.
I also took up drinking when I worked at the liquor store, so
there you go. That's a good habit.
I was strictly a beer guy until then. Now I'm with the scotch and the bourbon and all kinds of stuff. So
and you like to drink the stuff from the brown bottles.
That's the problem. I'm drinking the brown liquor now.
Yeah, see, that's when I used to go out with my father, we go into a bar, the Huddle up on 5th Street.
Oh, I know the Huddle.
We go in there and I tell Jimmy, the bartender, I said, nothing from the brown bottles for my father.
Yeah.
Will become He'll become a crazed Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg, out of all the Philadelphia sports team, who do you think is the closest team to win a championship?
Oh man, well, obviously 2 of them are very, very close. So winning it, it's easier for the Eagles to win it than the Phillies. I think. Hard as this for me to say that because the Eagles really just have to win 3 games, and they can win a championship. The Phillies, their division's so good, it's hard for them
to fight their way out of there.
They got to fight your way out. It's like they're so good, and they'll be lucky to win a division. And then you got to win those series, and it's so much harder. Again, going back to the old days, it's these guys. Well, they've won so many playoff games and this and that. Like you didn't have playoff games back in the day, so the Yankees. You won your league, and you were in the World Series.
There was only 8 National League teams and 8 American League teams.
12 series. So if you were good, it was easy to win the World Series. It's hard to win the World Series now because of all these playoff series. You get beat by teams like Arizona and the Mets, and you just if you're just off for a week, man, it's hard. So yeah, the Eagles are definitely got the best chance of win right now, obviously.
And I would say that I agree with you, and I say that because of the Eagles' defense.
Yeah.
Their offense can get hung up a little bit in the playoffs, because everybody has a good defense,
right.
But it's their defense that has to hang in there against all these teams, especially when the game's close.
Right. Sometimes you can't even believe the Eagles are, because it doesn't look like it sometimes during the games. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this team only has 7 points or 14 points. Second and third quarter. Like, wait a minute, they just don't give up points.
Yeah.
So the statistics, that's what they are. They do not give up. They do not give up a lot, except for that Commanders game, that terrible Commanders game. They gave it up in the second half, but they just do not. They don't look like one of these great all-time defenses like the old Bears or Giants or Steelers or anything like that. But they just don't. You just can't beat them. They don't give up big plays. They don't give up a lot of points.
I mean, you got to take your Fangio. He's a guy that'll move a player if he likes a guy, and he's all constantly looking for where he could fit the defense best.
Well, look at that.
Boom. that this middle linebacker, number 53, he reminds me of the old time linebackers. I mean, when he hits somebody, I mean, they go backwards.
All right.
And
Eagles need to sign him in the off season.
I don't think
What's that?
they're going to sign him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Well, they might, but they haven't. Their history says they don't pay a lot of money for the linebackers, so they'll figure they can find somebody else, and I think that's what they'll probably do.
Oh, it's a shame
Yeah.
because I mean, he's the kind of guy that you could build a defense around. You know,
How old is he? I don't know. Like, he's been around a little bit, so I don't know how old he is.
He's like 28 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll look at that. Maybe they'll say, hey, yeah, maybe we're going to try that this time. We're going to.
yeah, maybe they'll use their heads for once.
Yeah.
And somebody on the defense, it's worth it.
Right.
Because when Cooper DeJean comes, when whatever his rookie contract was, once he hits free agency, I mean the Eagles are like the team. They'll let them go. They'll let him fly away.
Yeah. Well, they'll sign guys. What they do is their own guys. They do try to sign. They do try to lock them up before they get a chance to get away. They'll pay them. They've done that with a lot of guys. They paid them up front and they keep their guys. But yeah, they got guys on this team this year. Baum and somebody else. One of the offensive linemen, Becton, maybe one of those guys they brought in just for 1 year, and they're doing great. And then you got to decide. Sometimes that's the way to do it. Sometimes, hey, 1 year of them like really wanting to prove themselves is the way to go. Like,
because
hey,
I would sign Baum. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he's a linebacker's linebacker,
Yeah.
you know, and he covers a lot of ground. I mean, he's not slow at all. He can move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would sign him.
Yeah. Anybody been to a Flyers game lately?
I haven't. I haven't
No,
been to
I had
one
not.
Yeah.
in like
Flyers
2
game next
years.
week. I haven't been to a game in a long time, so I watch them. I don't watch them a lot, but I'm going to go. It'd be fun to go to. I think it was one of the best things.
Oh, are you going to a Flyers game next week?
Going to the 21st, 2 weeks, a
playing?
week and a half, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. So yeah, a lot like a live hockey game is a really cool event to be at. I'm sorry I haven't done it more.
Who are they playing?
What?
We used to get and see the Flyers and sit up there in the at the Spectrum.
In the Pottsville
You
connection.
mean in Wells Fargo?
No, the Spectrum.
Who are they playing?
I'm going to see the Red Wings are playing. Detroit's playing the night I'm going. But yeah, we should go to the Spectrum. These guys don't. Yeah, the Spectrum was the best. I mean, it was terrible.
There was
It was terrible. It was a great place to watch an event. It was not. It was a terrible place to enjoy outside the event.
But it was a great place to go to a concert.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
But the concession areas, what do they call like the walkways around that place? It was like there was no room. The restrooms, everything was terrible there as far as that goes. They said you could take that building and drop it inside the Wells Fargo Center and still have room to spare. The way it's so much bigger, so much more room.
It was a blast.
You were close. You were like, in fact, that's it's a good subject. Sometimes the new Sixers arena. I wish they would build it kind of like the Spectrum, where it was tight, like it was really a basketball place. I wish it was a tight basketball place. Like Portland has this basketball arena, and Indiana has it too. They're basketball buildings. They're close to the court. They're high.
Right.
They're not wide. They're not spread out wide like hockey arenas. I hope they build it something like that, where you go to a basketball game and you feel like you're at a basketball game.
Yeah, yeah. You feel like you're there.
Be right on top of it.
Yeah, I remember going down to Phillies game, sitting in the 700 level down at Vet.
Too big, too wide.
Great up there, man. You could do just about anything you wanted to do up there, and you could get away with it. Nobody noticed.
Okay. Charlie, I know you're a 49ers fan, so how do you feel about 49ers not making the playoffs?
Well,
I'm very sad.
It's just it was a bad year. Christian McCaffrey got hurt, and he's a major part of their offense. And they were playing games with their that one receiver all season, weren't they? The hell's his name? I don't know. It just pissed me off. But I enjoy watching the Eagles because I like watching their defense play.
Yeah, and
before we wrap things up, I would like to give some shout out to all the viewers that are watching, like Sean Brooks, West Brook, Thank you, Kevin, for your service. And Greg, do you have it?
Malin watching? Is Frank Malin watching?
No, Frank's not
How about Grant? Is Grant watching?
I don't know about that.
These are guys you work with,
Yeah. How
right?
about Elijah? Elijah, you out there?
Greg, do you have some motivational quotes for the viewers
No.
watching?
Don't
No.
get
Do
caught
your
drinking.
job. Bill Belichick, do your job.
Do the
Do you have,
job.
do you have a good advice for the viewers watching us?
Oh man, yeah. Don't do anything I do. No, find good advice for viewers. Oh my God, that would be interesting.
Yeah, right. Don't get in trouble.
Don't get in trouble.
Make sure you pay all your bills.
Eat right, and get your sleep.
Eat right, and
I don't get
go
my
to the toilet.
dogs and a cat, so I don't get good sleep anymore, especially in the winter when we have to try to keep the cat in. So our house is a zoo at night. I'm already tired thinking about it.
Yeah, when you want to really sleep, get that
Good work.
sleepy time. Well, yeah, you could drink a couple of shots of Irish whiskey, and that would put you down.
That's right.
You know, the 3 fingers, a regular Irish shot glass. But yeah, that or sleepy time tea.
That's right.
That's really good, though. That is really good because you got valerian root and all those other roots.
That in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
William, you want to do the closing statement?
Yeah, you got it. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Rockin' with Rahul and the Three Amigos. Please remember to click and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Stay tuned for another episode next Wednesday at 9:30. Our next guest is Todd O'Brien, and we are having another guest, Jake Somerville. So stay tuned next Wednesday.
Are these the mechanics at the depot?
Why don't you get Tanner McKee on?
Yeah, get him. See, I would bet on the Eagles if Tanner McKee played. I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good quarterback. So
Greg, what do you guys think about Tanner McKee?
I think he's very good. His mechanics are very good.
Looks good. Looks somewhat good.
Yeah. His mechanics are very good, throwing wise.
Yeah.
And very good. He's better than the past couple of years when they would send in their second and third string quarterback when they couldn't they didn't even know what a huddle was. So, I mean, I'm a big advocate of practicing your backups because you never know when you're going to need them. And there's nothing worse than a second or third string quarterback not getting any work during the week, and then on Sunday the quarterback goes down, and both of them go down, and this kid's got to come into play, and the whole city's expecting the kid to win the game. It just doesn't happen because they're not prepared. So
true.
That's all. I'm done talking. I'm out.
It was already a closing statement, so I don't think this is going to air.
Thank you, Greg, for joining our show.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was great meeting you. It really was.
It's a pleasure. I enjoyed it. I look forward to watching in the future. If I ever do anything great, I'll get back on and tell you about it.
Greg, do you have a YouTube account if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel?
Do I have what?
Click and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Would I subscribe? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Good night, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night.
All right. Take care, guys.
Wait, before we close it out, let's sing this song. Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Score touchdown, 1, 2, 3. You don't even know the song.
Hit them low,
Hit them
hit them high.
Watch our
Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S.
Eagles.
I tried to do the signs, making an E and an A. I fractured my elbow.
Oh no. I don't think this show has any insurance either, does it?
No, I'm suing Rahul for everything he's got.
Sue him personally.
But see, I hadn't told him yet. No, I didn't break my fracture
I'd
my
like to make
elbow.
it clear I don't have anything to do with this show, so I have no personal responsibility.
I signed no NDAs. I don't even know these guys.
I've never even heard of it. Listen, I just dialed the wrong number.
And who is that redheaded guy that won't shut up?
All right, go on, get out of here.
All right, adios. Enjoy your night, man. It was
Hey, you
great.
too. Take care.
Oh,
Go
good
on.
night.
Good
Nice to
night.
meet. It was nice to meet you, Greg.
You too. Take care, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye. How do I get out of here?
Let
Nice
him
to
off.
meet you.
Jane, get me out of here. Hey, Basil, what's up, brother?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, you work a lot this week?
Yeah, I worked well, actually I only worked 2 days so far this week.
All right. Okay.
But
Out in the
yeah,
cold.
I had a friend, yeah, that just the cold, being around a ton of people, and then basically the only free time so far I've had this week is just now watching the Sixers game, and watching whole basketball game completely wipes me. So after an hour show, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm very tired right now.
All right. Well, I won't keep you up then. It was great seeing you, man. And
Good
enjoy
seeing
your.
you too.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. All
All
the
right,
best, Charlie.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
How do I get out of here? We still recording? Raul, turn off the